Hey, I'm Trui, and today we're at Gamescom. So we went to Gamescom for 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. On the first day, we kind of walked around just exploring the halls and see what's up. And on the second day, we had a ton of appointments with developers. The first day, we haven't seen too many games because, well, waiting 3 hours for a game to play it for a little bit, that's a bit too much for me. So what we did is we just explored a bit and we played some indie games because there weren't that long of our queues for indie games at all. The moment we got in, we saw those giant booths of games and they had such cool big props for some games. Some games had like a little bit more of a, I don't know, boring stand with just some signs, and some people actually had giant statues of like in-game characters that were pretty cool to see. So when we walked around, we came upon the 2 Point Hospital stand, and I have played a lot of that game. I have like 200 hours in the game, so you know what's up. And they're gonna release a console version of the game. So I had a few questions, and I walked up to this guy that was standing at their stand, and I asked him a couple of questions, and he was like, well, I don't really know all the answers to the questions you're asking me. Let me just get a developer for you. So we went somewhere at the back, and we had to wait for a little second. And all of a sudden, there were like 3 developers in front of me. I was like, I expected one person. And there were like 3 developers standing in front of me, and they gladly answered all my questions about the game. At that point, I didn't even tell them that I was a streamer. So like, if you ever go to like Gamescom or anything like that, just walk up to people, ask questions you have, because they just want to answer them, and they're so passionate about their game that they love to answer all these questions. And that's not just for the developers of 2 Point Hospital. Last year, I met with a Paradox employee, and she was like telling all about Crusader Kings because that was her favorite game, and that's her passion. So like, go up to these people and just ask questions. They don't bite. So like I mentioned before, on the second day, we met with a lot of developers. I was really excited about that myself. And the first one we met was from King's Bounty 1C. And they showed us their new game, King's Bounty 2. And they recently announced it, so it was pretty cool that we could already check it out. It was immediately clear that it was going to be something totally different than the first King's Bounty, because the first King's Bounty was from a top-down perspective, but King's Bounty 2 is gonna be like a third-person view, and you can actually walk through the world, and it's pretty awesome if you ask me. They told me that there will be multiple characters you can choose from, and therefore the game will also be different every playthrough you do with another character. Another thing that makes replayability possible is that the choices you make in the game affect how the world reacts on you. So if you are a moral character, people that are liking order will side with you. So if you're more like an anarchist, people that like order will not like to work with you, but other people will. So you will meet total different people in a playthrough if you change the choices you make. So I'm pretty excited about that. Replayability is always a thing that I like in games. The battle system is kind of like the previous battle system, which is top-down. You move units around each turn, and they all have their own initiative, which means they come in a specific order, and the enemy might be quicker than you. If you win a battle, you earn gold, and with this gold, you can buy new troops or replenish them. You can also choose to buy new items. The map the developer showed me was pretty sizable. I did not have the chance to see all of it because of the time, but it looked really big. And the best thing about the game, if you ask me, were the animations. The developer told me that they had an animation studio working on only the cutscenes because they looked great. Huge thanks to 1C and King's Bounty for showing us this game, and especially to Nikolai, who is the project manager of King's Bounty. Thank you so much for showing us around, and I really appreciate that you took the time to answer all our questions. So we had some time left and we walked around. We stumbled upon the Devolver digital stand. And they let us take a look inside and see what other people were playing. And then we met the people from Mediatonic, who apparently didn't have an appointment at that time. So they took the time to show their new game, Fall Guys. So Fall Guys is kind of a party game where you and a lot of other people, I believe 100, but I'm not 100% sure about that number, compete for the crown. In Fall Guys, you take control of a character and you need to move them through obstacle courses or challenges, minigames. Like for example, there's one minigame where you need to try and grab a tail. Half of the people spawns with the tail, the other one without. And if the timer runs out, you need to make sure to have a tail, because otherwise, you're out. This means that you cannot participate in the next round. And everybody with a tail will go on to the next challenge. And in the next round, the same thing will happen. The people that made the objective or were the fastest will continue to the next round. At the final round, you need to make your way up a hill with all kinds of weird things, balls falling down, hammers coming at you, and at the end there's this crown. But only one person can take the crown. Thank you Mediatonic for showing us the game and playing with us, because it was a lot of fun to play with us. Although Nim won the whole time, so. But thank you for the crown. I'm allowed to like put it up myself, even though I didn't earn it. And last but not least, we met with Crack, which is the community manager from Northgard, which is made by Shiro Games. I was pretty excited about this meeting because I've played a bit of Northgard and I really enjoyed it. So they recently announced that Northgard is coming to consoles, and of course it's coming to the Switch too. And we had an opportunity to try it out on the Switch. So I had the opportunity to play both with the Switch in my hands as with it in the dock on the TV. The first thing I was wondering is how did they go about the controls, because the controls on console are always a bit slower than they would be on PC. And Northgard is kind of like a fast management game, so you kind of want to build things fast, assign villages fast, and how did they get to the point where you can also do it fast on console? They have a quick build menu where they suggest buildings that you can construct. These quick build menus are like radial menus, so you can really quickly go through it with your sticks. You don't have to worry about assigning villages as much as you have to do on PC, because you can just hover over a building and add a villager. You don't have to go to a villager first and click on them and then click on the building, but if you go to the building you can just add or, well, retract villagers from a building. This takes away a little bit of micromanagement that you would be able to do on PC very quickly, but on console it might turn out a bit tedious. Personally, I think it was a great option. It didn't feel like they were babysitting me, but it smoothened the controls a lot. But not only is Northgard coming to the Switch, they also are gonna do a major update for free. Yeah, I mean if you have the game, of course. So in this major update, they kind of add a campaign mode, and you can make your way to a clan's mission tree. Some elements are random and some elements are unique to the clan you're playing. An example of a mission could be that you need to reach the middle point and defeat the enemies inside that tower. Or maybe one mission is about getting a trade factory. And the rewards of the other missions you already done might be able to help you with the next mission. The campaign works for every clan, but if you don't have the DLCs of some clans, you cannot play that clan's campaign yet, unless you get the DLC. But this makes the DLC's value even better. I believe they said that the mission system would be out a little bit later on consoles, but don't quote me on that one. But that's not even it, because they're also working on a board game, and that is pretty cool. I've seen a prototype of it. When I think of Northgard, it fits very well for a board game. It already has a tile system. It has a lot of things that you can implement as a board game. And this way you can also play Northgard with everybody who doesn't like games in your family. Just don't tell them that's an actual game. So keep an eye out. This game will be on Kickstarter. And it's really cool to see how they already implemented some things of the actual Northgard game. For example, how they implemented scouting by flipping the tiles first, and then when you scout them you can flip them and see what's actually there. Winter is also a part of the board game where every X amount of turns you would earn less food, less wood and stuff like that. I'm really excited for the major expansion, the console version and the board game. All three are amazing, if you ask me. And thank you, Craig, for showing us around and having that much patience with us, answering all our questions. And I hope that Northgard will be a success that it deserves to be. So this was my trip to Gamescom, and I met another developer, so I have more news about an upcoming game, but I can't tell you guys about it yet. But I'm gonna tell you guys about it in a new video, which is coming up, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon to get notified when that video comes out. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and tell me about your experience on Gamescom. Did you go as well? Tell me what you thought was the coolest things you have done on Gamescom in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.